One of the fundamental questions we need to ask ourselves in business is this: why should anyone buy from you? It used to be said that if you build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door. That's no longer true. The pace of competition is so great that as fast as you build a new mousetrap, someone else will be doing the same thing. So what else can make you different? Let me help you to decide that by using a pint of Guinness as a metaphor for your business. If you walk into any pub in Ireland, you'll see a number of partly filled pint pots waiting to be topped up. If you were to ask for a pint of Guinness and you were given one of these, what would you say? It's not enough. But that represents the basics of your business. Every business in your category does those same things. And every business in your category, including yours, I'm certain, aims to become brilliant at those basics. But I say that's a given. Shouldn't be in that business unless you can do the basics well. Isn't that right? What is far more important is what you add to the basics. Now, this top-up represents the differences that matter. These are the differences that cause people to buy from you and not from someone else. But of course, you have to leave room at the top for the head. Because when you look at a glass of black liquid with a creamy head, you think what? Guinness. So that head is the one defining element. Now, what's yours? What's your one defining element? That would be your special added value. What should people think about when they think of you? That's the important thing. Now, the question is, how will you define and communicate your one defining benefit? There are 4 steps. First, change the way you tell your story. That will change the way you look at your own business. Ditch the linear approach. Stop talking about what you do and how you do it. Start talking about the effect or the benefit of what you do. Patricia Fripp says when she started her own hairdressing business in California, she didn't talk about hairdressing. She said she was in business to make women feel good. Great. Some years ago, the star of the 1966 World Cup, Sir Geoff Hurst, came and asked me how could he make his story, his speech, less boring for himself. And off the top of my head, I said, 1966, Anglo-German relations fell to their lowest level since the Second World War due to the actions of one Englishman. I was that Englishman. It gave a new context for his story. He loved it and he asked if he could borrow it. So that's about telling the story differently. Second thing to do is to challenge everything you claim about your business. Ask the question, so what? And assemble evidence to answer that challenge. That will strengthen your belief in your own business. The third thing to do is to emphasize the cost of not doing what you're proposing. I remember the very first sale I made when I was selling management consultancy in my 20s. The prospect liked what I was saying, but he was hesitating. So I said, what if you could see what it costs you when people make a mistake in production? What if you could see what it costs you when people don't turn up for work? What if you could see the cost of wastage and inefficiencies? And I just scattered money on the floor. Carried on talking. He wasn't listening. So I stopped and said, what would you like me to do? He said, pick up the money. And I said, yes, but if that was your money, wouldn't you want somebody to come along and help you to pick it up? He got the point about the cost of not adopting my proposal. Fourth and finally, create and test a new elevator speech that says, this is how I help, not this is what I do. That will focus your mind on the purpose and the benefit of your business. It will promote and project your one defining benefit. And so in summary, change the way you tell your story, ditch the linear. Second, produce evidence. Third, emphasize the cost of not adopting what you're proposing. And finally, get a new elevator speech. That's how you will become known for what makes you different in business. Cheers.